Alright, what's up, guys? So, WrestleMania, they have uploaded a video titled 10 times WWE wrestlers went crazy mad on a fan. Sometimes, I would know. I was just watching a video where John Moxley, at the time when he was going by Dean Ambrose, but no, there was some old crazy dude like ran up on Renee Young, John Moxley's wife, and just grabbed her hat and then was just gonna run. I'm like, okay, why would you do that? For what reason? Why? Like, Renee, she was trying to calm him down, but it's like, no, that dude, he needs to, he deserved like a wrestling move to get performed on him, like, because I don't understand, like, why would you do some stuff like that? Like, nah, he need more than the wrestling. He just needs to get punched across his face. Like, you doing some stuff like that, but who knows? They might have it in this compilation. But no, if you guys have it, make sure you guys go subscribe to WrestleMania for more videos like this. Let's go ahead and get into this video.
Yo, this is ill, it's John Cena's committee. You're from Baltimore, but I straight run the city, down and gritty. Yo, it's time to get dirty.
A wrestler traditionally manages to avoid
Cena.
a heated confrontation with fans. For instance, a top heel should be used to being heckled and being booed, so naturally it won't rattle him and it shouldn't rise to any fan provocation.
You got a job? Do you go to school? Yeah, high school, college? What do you do?
Student, college student.
If there's one thing I can't stand, is a smart-ass college kid.
However, over the years, there have been numerous instances where a fan has overstepped the mark, and this has led to a personal confrontation
is that Chris Jericho?
between fan and wrestler. But when did these moments happen?
Go back to Toronto. From Winnipeg, you idiot.
Well, join us now as we look at 10 times a wrestler went off at ringside fans.
I've seen videos where wrestlers have done stuff like that, where they went off on, a fan would yell something at them, and then because it was just, I seen it not too long ago, where it was this Asian wrestler, and they said some old like racist remark to her, and I can't remember what she said in response, but they was all like, they said go back somewhere, and she's like, I'm not from there, I'm from this area. So it's stupid how people carry on like that.
Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists.
Interrupting my promo is like stepping into the ring with Brock Lesnar. You ain't got a chance.
Number 1. CM Punk versus a fan, the Raw after SummerSlam 2013.
Oh, yeah. That's when he like elbowed the fan.
SummerSlam 2013 featured an incredible match between CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar, but it was the night after in CM Punk's promo that became one of the talking points of the SummerSlam weekend. Punk took to the ring on Raw to address the loss to Lesnar the night prior, but for some reason a guy in the front row began to boo Punk, this despite Punk being a full-blown babyface at the time.
Buttons he pushed. Sir, you paid your ticket, you want to boo, that's fine, but I dare you to step in between these ropes.
Punk was triggered by this, so he began to cut an unplanned promo targeting the fan. Punk stated, I dare you to step in between these ropes, and you'll never boo again, because I'll render you a toothless crying heap of a man. I am pissed off, and I want to fight, so if you have the balls, I dare you fatso to step up and be a man and fight CM Punk. Come on, son. Come on, I'll render you to tears. Come on, be a man or sit down and be a bit and shut your mouth. Number 2, Kevin Owens versus a fan.
I go back to Canada, you go back to screwing your sister, you stupid
A big part of Kevin Owens' heel act is
I'm like, man, I just don't understand why they feel like they gotta like say some old racist stuff. You'll be surprised on how much racism goes on into wrestling, cause what was it? Nah, who was it? Was it Mustafa Ali? I don't think it might have been him, but it was some wrestler where they said like a kid, like he threw his fist up at him or something like that, and people would say, I think it was him. I think it was. And how racist things is being said. I'm like, bro, it is wrestling. Like, chill out. Like, I don't know if they still be selling alcohol beverages and wrestling shows, but I'm like, yo, honestly don't need to be sold to them. They need water or a Red Bull or something. Like,
actions with fans at ringside.
that's crazy.
He will often trash talk fans in order to gain heat and draw extra interest in his matches. Most of this heel work is usually undertaken at live events where fan interaction is more encouraged than traditional television broadcasts.
Roman Reigns. I like how Roman Reigns, he's just all like, I mean, he ain't lying, like he is, like, he's still like trying to be in character, but he's like still just like, you know, just to be able to, like, you still doing wrestling, but you just hear the argument like, hey Kevin, like, you know, just, hey, like, get back to the wrestling, all right, like, I'm about to get up, so let's continue on with this match. That is crazy.
During a match with Sami Zayn for the Universal title at Raw Live event in February of 2017, Owens would win the match and would get into a confrontation with the ringside fan. The fan shouted, "You suck, Kevin Owens, and go back to Winnipeg," which Owens simply responded with,
"You'll never be what I am. Where's your being a virgin?"
Number 3, Sabu beats up a fan in 1995. Well, the next entry in this list is one of the rare times a confrontation between a wrestler and a fan actually got physical. Sabu was wrestling in Japan in 1995, and as he was making his entrance, a fan decided to steal Sabu's headgear. Obviously, this was incredibly disrespectful in every way, so Sabu took matters into his own hands.
That's crazy, man. People, they need to understand, like, you can't do stuff like that. Like, that's a part of that person's culture, so for you to disrespect their culture like that, yeah, it's like you deserve to get beaten up, so just don't do things like that, you know? My thing is, it's like, pat the wrestler. Honestly, though, I don't know if I would pat the wrestler, like, on the back, you know, like, when they're walking by and things, because I'm like, look, they doing their thing. I'm not trying to intervene or ruin something, or they think that I did something, so I'm going to be over here taking pictures. Like, that's all that I need. Videos, pictures, that's about it, but people, they just get very disrespectful.
And proceeded to unload on a fan with punches and kicks before security stepped in. Sabu then secured his headgear and proceeded to wrestle the match, as if nothing happened. Number 4, CM Punk hits a fan in 2012.
Like, elbowed that fan. And I think it was like the fan, it wasn't even the person that he elbowed. So if you pay attention when I obviously unpause the video, so you'll see where a person's like hand like went through, because I guess like a fan was like this, but his hand went through the like guy's arm when it was like this, so it went like that, and then he pushed CM Punk in the back of the head or his back or something, almost made him fall down the stairs. And yeah, he thought it was a guy behind him, but it wasn't that guy.
I'm gonna teach you something about respect.
In October 2012, following a match between Vince McMahon and CM Punk, Punk would escape through the crowd following interference from Ryback. However, one fan decided to put his hands on Punk, which Punk didn't take too kindly to. So he retorted by punching him straight in the face.
Wasn't even the guy.
The incident was big news, with fans and the media wanting to know what had actually occurred.
The video shows what appears to be Schmidt touching the back of Punk's head. But take a closer look. The hand of another person actually touches the wrestler's head.
Punk would release a statement in relation to the matter stating, "I think the whole situation sucks. It's an unfortunate and isolated incident. I was up in the stand surrounded. Somebody said, let's push him down the stairs. Got hit in the ribs 3 times. I was getting shoved and I was getting punched. Then I started getting tagged in the back of the head. Unfortunately, I lashed out in the heat of the moment and I apologize. I'm really just glad nobody was hurt." However, the backlash didn't stop there, as WWE had to release a statement to TMZ regarding the matter. The statement read, "WWE security was unfortunately not in the appropriate place at the time. Given CM Punk's persona as a bad guy, fans were naturally heckling him, but unfortunately a few fans began shoving him and one struck him in the kidney and on the back." The reps added, "WWE regrets that
like, you don't know the difference between when stuff is like, I'm not overall saying that wrestling is, you know, well, I mean, the storylines and all that stuff, okay, but, like, honestly, with these guys, it's like, they're just regular people. Like, outside of CM Punk, like, whatever his real name is, like, that's who he is. Like, you guys gotta remember that. You guys gotta understand, like, this is a regular person just like us. So, he gets hurt, he gets injured. That's just like if you get hurt or you get injured. But, people, I swear, man, they just take wrestling too serious. Like, my thing is, now I watch it just for entertainment purposes. If there's a heel wrestler, I like them as heel. If they babyface wrestler, I'm gonna like them as a babyface. Regardless of whatever they're doing, I'm gonna have respect for them. So
security measures were not in place, and CM Punk apologizes for reacting in the heat of the moment. Number 5, Sami Zayn versus a fan. Well, there's no place for homophobia anywhere in the world, and if it occurs in any environment...
Yeah, this was crazy. There's like 5 teams in custody. Yeah. I guess they were trying to... So this is like not a wrestling story, but they was like trying to get the women to kiss or do something, and they wouldn't. And so, yeah, then they ended up beating them. I was just like, bro, yeah, I hope something like that happens to them while they're in jail, prison, wherever they're at. But anyways.
At the earliest opportunity.
This won't be a gay bashing. I'm just about to beat the hell out.
Dang.
This extends to WWE
That's
events,
old
and
days.
it's very likely that if
get away with
anything
that
hateful
stuff.
is shouted during a WWE show, someone will call it out, and sometimes that individual who calls it out may be a WWE superstar. In a match between Bray Wyatt and Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn was at ringside. However, he noticed that a fan was shouting homophobic abuse towards the former NXT champion. Sami didn't take too kindly to this and got in the fan's face and called him a...
That's
the issue became so heated that Sami had to be pulled back by a referee and a WWE agent at ringside. The fan was promptly kicked out. Number 6, Sasha Banks versus Izzy.
Dang.
Sasha Banks and Bayley competed in the first ever women's Iron Man match at NXT TakeOver Respect. The match itself was acclaimed by many, and praise was directed towards the incredible heel work offered by
She used to go by Izzy? Who is Izzy? Or maybe, I don't know. Let's see how this plays out.
Sasha Banks on the show. One of the most notable moments of the match involved Sasha getting into a confrontation with Bayley superfan Izzy at ringside.
Oh, okay, so it says. I'm all like, who is he? But anyway.
Sasha stealing a headband and the young fan breaking down in tears.
Dang.
What is wrong with her? Sasha Banks running around with that headband on. Look, did you see Izzy?
She would address the incident years later in an interview on Perched on the Top Rope. Izzy stated, "I don't know why I cried. Maybe when Sasha took my headband, I thought she was gonna break it. There was a lot of emotions going on. Banks was yelling at me, I'm doing this because of you. What are you gonna do? I think it'll be an awesome story for when I get to WWE and say Sasha Banks stole my headband. I think it was an important part that told the story. It made it better, and here's like an extra push to the crowd and the fans that love Bayley and the fans that love Sasha." Fans were chanting, "Slap her, Izzy." That was the best part. It just really helped the match more, not because I was part of it. If they had someone else, I'd be saying this. The moment is forever remembered by NXT fans and NXT alumni. Sasha reportedly felt so bad about the incident that she sent flowers to Izzy following the incident, which put the two back on good terms. Number 7.
Do you understand that? What's because I probably, like me just being, if I was like the, heel wrestler and things, I take the fans like hat, whatever, headband. Like, oh yeah, look at me, I'm the heel wrestler, do whatever. And once when I had seen them crying, I'm like, okay, like, can we like go to commercial? Like, hey, go to commercial real quick. I'm like, that's why I probably was like, okay, we got like 60 seconds. All right, so Izzy, I apologize. Here's your headband. We just gonna act like that whole thing did not just happen. Okay, because look, I can't make no kid cry. I'm like, I can't have that on my conscience. I'm like, yo, that's going to mess with me, man. But, yo, that is crazy. But, yeah, oh, yeah, definitely. I sent that girl like a freaking Xbox to latest, well, maybe not the wrestling video games, because I'm like, them games ain't doing so hot. So, but yeah, I sent her. I'm like, look, whatever you want. I'm like, if you want I'll give you all the championship belts, all signed by Bayley, since you a Bayley super fan. I'm like, I'll do whatever, but I'm like, but please don't cry. I'm like, don't do this to me.
Triple H.
And if that doesn't work, then by God, me and my friend Mark, we're gonna stop watching.
Sometimes a wrestler going off on a ringside fan can be incorporated into the show's script.
If y'all know what that video, like, to any kids out there, I suggest, yeah, it's one of those videos. don't watch it. Just for your sake, don't watch it. I know y'all ain't gonna listen to me, but don't watch it.
This means that crowd interaction is planned, but the crowd isn't aware that this is gonna happen. And no, we don't need any stunt granny jokes.
Come on, Granny, build him!
This can either work extremely well or can completely flop, as a fan may be too intimidated to retort back in any capacity. A great example of a planned fan interaction spot came in 2005 on a Raw following WrestleMania 21. Triple H would come to the ring furious over the fact that he had just lost the world title to Batista the night prior.
That was a good match. That was one of the wrestling matches, because I was a big fan of Batista, and that was like one of the wrestling matches. I watched that match like all the time. I have WrestleMania 21 on DVD. I hadn't watched it in a while, but nah, man, that was such a good match. I should like go and get like WWE Network and just watch that match, because that was good. But anyways,
Batista Triple H 2 will take place.
As fans booed the former world champion, Triple H stepped into the ring and got into the face of famous WWE fan.
That guy, Batista, it's funny, he wrote about that guy in his book, Batista Unleashed. Like, that book came out like maybe 13 years ago, but it was funny. And this is just, I still remember this because I was laughing so hard when I read that in his book. But he said that this guy is like, I've seen him numerous occasions when I would watch wrestling. Of course, you can't really see him now, but there were like times like after reading Batista's book, I see this guy like all the time and stuff. But there's a time where he was like trash talking Batista at some Hooters or something. And so Batista, he paid one of the waitresses like, hey, go over there. Like, I think he wanted her to do one thing, but she went and grabbed the guy's hat and rubbed it between her butt and said something to him. But I was just like, yo, that guy, yeah, he definitely would wrestle the guy that's narrating this video, where he said, like, dude is a super fan of wrestling.
World champion Triple H stepped into the ring and got into the face of famous WWE fan Rick Achberger, who was famous for appearing on a lot of WWE shows in a blue shirt and red hat, which made for an extremely memorable segment.
Down each and every one of your throats!
Number 8. CM Punk's babyface run in 2011. Even the top babyfaces in wrestling can sometimes get rattled by the audience. This was seen in late 2011 at a WWE live event where CM Punk was celebrating with fans at ringside following his victory over Alberto Del Rio. Punk was slapping hands with fans until one fan started booing Punk for an undisclosed reason. Punk was irritated by this as he started to belittle a fan by making baby noises towards the fan and calling him a Cena fan. Punk finished the interaction by telling the fan,
I bet you watch TNA.
The fan retorted to say, he doesn't watch TNA, to which Punk said, your friend does. Punk then sarcastically said, it's good, in relation to TNA, whilst doing Cena's signature hand taunts to the fans at ringside. Number 9.
Wow. Oh, wow. CM Punk, that man amazes me. Like, some of the things that he says and do, I'm like, he's one of those guys, it's like, dang, man, you just wish he still, like, had some. How come he ain't doing commentary or freaking something? Like, WWE, that just feel like that was just a wasted opportunity. There are so many things they could have did with CM Punk. And I'm like, that's just like, you guys got to really pay attention to these wrestlers. And whatever they bring to the table, it's like, because my thing is like, obviously if they want to bring something to the table, that's something that the fans want. So I'm doing things for the fans. I ain't going to be all like, oh yeah, the whole McMahon family, we're going to do it all for the fans. And they literally, remember when they came out on TV and said that, they're like, this is for you guys. We doing everything for you. We're going to listen to you. And it was still same old WWE. I'm like, bro, what just happened here? But anyways.
Bryan in 2012. In the summer of 2012, Daniel Bryan was quickly becoming the hottest wrestler in the world.
Yeah.
His gimmick, which involved him chanting yes with the crowd, was over like nothing else on the product, and he quickly became the top babyface in the company alongside John Cena. During a 6-man tag on SmackDown between Bryan, Dolph Ziggler, and The Miz facing off against Kane, Chris Jericho, and Christian.
Dang, that's crazy. It does not seem like it was that long ago. And then they saying Christian. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. And Chris Jericho. Yo, this is wild. I mean, yeah, Kane, he'll make his, like from time to time, like, make appearances and stuff. But, yo, that is wild, man. It did not seem like it was that long ago. But I guess it was.
The fans were really into Bryan, with them responding yes whenever Bryan shouted out no. Bryan managed to get the win for his team, and during his post-match celebration, he got into a confrontation with a fan as they both screamed yes and no at each other in dramatic fashion. Number 10, Batista.
I don't care what anybody says, man. Daniel Bryan, he is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I remember that. Because I was like, bro, just walk away. Like, you get in this screaming match with a fan. I'm like, that is funny, man. I miss it. You know, yeah, it's good. He came back and things, but yeah, I just miss the fan, bro. I can't wait for when everything is cleared up with COVID, so the fans can come back and we could just have good old fashioned wrestling. Cause I'm like, I don't know, like this whole like Thunderdome thing, I don't mind it, but I'm like, I would rather have fans there. I like when the wrestlers was there. You know, how come y'all couldn't have it where it's like the fans was like up above, but then the wrestlers was down below? I was like, yo, at least have something there. But anyways.
This scares a fan in 2010.
This is not about you. This is about me being in the spotlight where I deserve to be.
Heel Batista was good.
In late 2009, Batista turned heel for the first time in 4 years. This heel run would be acclaimed by many, and it showed off Batista's promo skills as well as his acting abilities.
If we ever are in the same ring together again, you're gonna wish it was a bad dream.
Batista would be WWE Champion heading into WrestleMania 26 for his title match against John Cena, and to build the match, Batista would cut incredible promos where he would blame the WWE.
That's my computer. Don't sure be looking around like, wait a minute, what's going on? But no, there's a podcast episode that I was processing for one of my other channels. But anyways,
fans for the fact that WWE revolved around Cena and not him.
The hell out of you at WrestleMania and prove to all these people everywhere around the world that I am that much better than you.
One of the more memorable moments of this heel run was following a squash match victory over Kofi Kingston. As Batista was heading to the back, he noticed a Cena fan booing him. He acted like he was going to strike the fan, and the fan quickly panicked and immediately sat down. He actually received audible laughs from the audience as the fan's reaction was so comedic. But there you have it, guys.
That's
10
crazy.
times the wrestlers went off at ringside fans. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Facebook for exclusive lists, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.
Yeah, man, wrestling, it could be a good environment at times. I always gonna be a wrestling fan, hands down. I'm like, I love wrestling, but yeah, there's some crazy moments, man. Like, you know, them wrestling fans, you know. I have to say though, yeah, my favorite is obviously the Daniel Bryan one. Yeah, because I don't know. I'm just a big fan of Daniel Bryan. Batista, I'm a big fan of him too. But yeah, I'm telling you, man, them fans, it's like, I don't think they realize, it's like, you know, you think like, oh, because these are wrestlers, they out here just doing like, you know, fake hits and all that. They can really hurt somebody if they wanted to. So I'm saying, like, y'all need to stop trying to cross these guys, like, oh, trying to test them or try them and things. Like, y'all need to stop with that. But anyways, that was a pretty good video. Make sure if you guys haven't, go subscribe to WrestleLamia for more videos like this. Like, subscribe to me too, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.